Right, so now we're going to get into logarithms. This is where the uncharted territory starts. So we're still on construct understanding. We're just going to deal with, I think it's on page 376 of your book, and they give us this graph to deal with. And they tell us that it's an inverse relationship, which we can see from the points 0 and 1, 1 and 0, 10 and 1, 1 and 10, so they've been switched. And we have the formula for this graph being y equals 10 to the power of x, which means that we could say that that one is x equals 10 to the power of y. But that's not helpful because we can't rearrange that, at least not with the skills that we've got. So what we're going to do is just forget about that. And we're going to rearrange it in a different way. So what I've done here is list the points and how I got them. So this one is y equals 10 to the power of x. So I took 10, which is my base. I put it to the power of x, which is 1. So I got my new point 0 and 1. And then I did that with 10 to the power of 1, 10 to the power of 2, and I got these ones. Now I know that this is an inverse relationship, and so y and x are switched. So when I go to deal with my new graph, I'm going to use the y values for there to create new x values here. And I know that these have to be reversed. So this one has to be 1 and 0, and this one has to be 10 and 1, and the bottom one is 102. So I can see that my x values are the same, and they're what the y values were for the inverse graph. Now here's the tricky part. How did I go from here to here, here to here, here to here, mathematically? What if I didn't have this graph, basically? What we want to look at is kind of putting these into a new pattern. And the new pattern is y equals log base 10 of x. So I'm going to show you how that works, and color coordinate it, code it, whatever. Put some colors on it so you can see what's going on. All right, now I guess maybe I'll start with a basic black, and what I'm doing is making a formula for this one. It corresponds with this one. So I'm going to show you how. First of all, you can see that there's a 10 in both of them. That's what we call the base. So 10 is the base. I'm just going to make it blue. And you can see that 10 is right there as the base. And what we want to recognize is that we're actually dealing with this one switched around. So we'll just do a little switch around thing. So that the points we're looking for are these ones. So when I'm dealing with this new formula, I've switched this one around. The base is still 10, so that part stays the same. But what I want to know, what I'm trying to find using the logarithm, the answer that I'm trying to find is actually the exponent. So when I have an answer, this is the answer. I'm trying to find the exponent. So what power did I have to raise 10 to get the x value that I have been given? So my x then is actually the answer. Well, the number, yeah, let's not call this the answer. Let's just call this the exponent. This is the exponent. This one makes more sense to call it the answer. So when I do this, I'm going to have to, and your calculator actually does log base 10s. That's the only thing they do. But when I write this in here, this is log base 10 of 1, and it equals 0. What this is saying is that 10 raised to the power of 0 equals 1. So I've got log base 10 in this case of 10, because that's my x. So 10 to the power of 1 equals 10. Log base 10 of 100 says 10 to the power of 2 equals 100. So your calculator is set up to actually work this out with you if you use the log button. The only thing I'm going to caution you on right away is that you can't specify, at least with the classroom calculators, you can't specify what the base is. If you're using the log function, it assumes base 10. Now, we're going to get into some algebra and ways to move things around so that we can still work with that, but for now, just so that you know, you can use your calculator's log button only if you have a base of 10. So only if you've got 10 to the power of whatever, that's going to work for you. But anything else, 2 to the power of, 3 to the power of whatever, will not work using the log button in your calculator.